following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
This isn't just a game, this is iRacing. So we got things kind of kicked off last Wednesday with the Clash at Daytona. Tonight it's Talladega and the first race of Season 4 for GLSR in the Premier Series presented by Mr. Radiator. As we are here at Talladega Superspeedway virtually on iRacing, it is the first race of the season as we get ready to go for 65 laps around this 2.66 mile track. I'm the captain as we get you ready for racing here. Qualifying going to begin shortly. The Spicy Scheme Hot Laps, which will set the lineup here for the race. We'll go over the schedule and stuff here in just a moment. All right, so let's take a look at the schedule here for the season. It all starts tonight here, Talladega Superspeedway. The Clash last week, won by Brandon Maciejewski. Talladega starts it off. Then we go to Darlington next week, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Barber Motorsports Park, Nashville Superspeedway, Bristol. We go back to the trucks for a week at Eldora, Indianapolis, New Hampshire, Dover, and Michigan before the playoffs kick off for the final 5 races, Chicagoland, Road America, Vegas, Kern County for the first time, and Auto Club Speedway. So that's what the schedule looks like. There are a ton of changes to talk about in the schedule as the rule book was released. As let's take a look here at what some of the changes here in the rule book. First things first, I think the biggest announcement is this season there is no more win and get in rules. So there used to be the win and get in. That's not happening anymore. It is now the top 10 drivers in the points. They will lock themselves into the playoffs. However, there's going to be 2 wildcard spots. It's going to make up the 11th and 12th positions. And basically, it's going to come down to like tiebreaker type things. Like, for instance, if 11th and 12th wins a race, my daughter's saying hello, by the way.
Mommy, what is that?
That's a tape.
That's important for Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney World.
But basically, the top 2 drivers, not in the top 10 with a win, will get in. And if there's more that needs to be done with ties and stuff like that, then it goes top 5s, top 10s, average finishes, amounts of soda you can drink in an hour, different tiebreakers like that. So either way, that's where that goes. Also, the amount of points you get in in the top 12 in the points for bonuses will go out from 24 all the way down to 2 in factors of 2, 24, 22, 20, 18, all the way down to 2 for the 12th driver. So basically, that is the biggest change here in the system. When it's all over with, there's 2 provisionals as per usual. Laps led, and most laps led, the only bonus point you'll get this season. So there's no perfect race type thing where if you get 0 incident points, you get a bonus point or anything like that. It's basically what it comes down to is if you can have, if you can lead a lap and lead the most laps, there's 2 bonus points waiting on you after that. So basically those are the main changes when it's all over with in the point standings for this season. Of course, there is a little bit of a penalty system. There's a drive-through penalty for jumping to restart and all that good stuff. And, yeah, usual rules here, I think, otherwise in play here for the season. And just stand by 1 second. All right, sorry about that. So here we go. As we get ready to go racing, about to begin here very shortly around this 2.66 mile super speedway, which, by the way, is one of the tracks that so many first-time winners in GLSR have happened. You go back to the first race ever in the series where Chris Evans went to victory lane. Again, I don't have all the numbers because I wasn't here for all the races. I used to be able to say that, but now I've not. But you go back to people like J.W. Miller. You go back to people like last year, Dalton Carter going to victory lane and busting himself into the playoff race. So tonight, first-time winners. Let's see. Who has never won a race here? How about the guy who's fastest in practice, Jason Clark, right now? He returns to the series, by the way, tonight. How about Devin Ramsey, fourth right now in practice? He's never won a race in this series. Robert Lukens, he's been around since the beginning. He's never won a race in this series. Matt Telder returns. The hashtag free Telder is no longer in effect. It is now hashtag whatever you want to go with Telder. I'm still with the EOL Telder, by the way, clan. Let's see, Matthew Wheeler, another name. Sam Barnes is here tonight. He's never won a race. Blade Sparling, the man's won a championship. Never won a race. Tyler Pluff, and we could go on forever of drivers who have never won a race at the level here of GLSR, as that'll start here at Talladega here tonight. Now, there's some surprise names I'm noticing not here that I thought were going to be here tonight, and I know there's some that I knew would not be here, but either way, it is time for Spicy Schemes Hot Laps, presented by Spicy Schemes. Mr. Sammy B, who is here tonight ready to go racing. We'll see what he can do in that 22 car. And let's pick a car here, and let's show you how to do a qualifying lap around the Talladega Superspeedway. And why not ride with the Double Dale car, the senior and junior car of Alex Bryson, as he's going to bring it through 1 and 2 here. He's got to go all the way over here to the warm-up lane. You're going to get that one throwaway lap, and then you'll come around and take the white flag. And from there, it's pretty much ride the bottom or whatever groove you find the fastest in this car. And this is your opportunity for those watching here in chat. If you got some friends and family members who enjoy watching this style of racing, you can bring them over and hang out. Got us on Twitter, of course, on Facebook, on, of course, the YouTube channel, as per usual. So basically, you run the longest way around the track because you want to be able to have as much time to get your car up to speed, because you do have a tapered spacer on the car, which hampers the horsepower. As Bryson's going to go to the bottom first lap here. So he's going to paint that yellow Bob Ross style. As Brandon Alphin jumps in here, and apparently Alphin will not be racing here tonight. That's definitely disappointing to see. The former champion in the truck side of things. Not going to be here tonight, but he's here in support. As Bryson right down about a half a groove up. Might want to move down a little bit, but still not a bad lane. It's one that'll work. So right down that yellow. Let's see if he goes to the apron here. Oh, man, feel better. Damn. And he'll be the first one to set a lap here, as Caleb Foston also throws a lap up there. There's Bryson with a 53.47. Dalton Carter 53.46 on his lap. Ladisor, the new sponsor of this series here, the Mr. Radiator Premier Series. He's up there in second, 53.46. Dylan Rosenberg, 53.83. So a lot of these laps are going to be spread out. See, this lap here is where you're going to see all the cars rise up and be very close to each other time-wise, because everybody's going to be running the same line, where that first lap, a lot of people ran the top, a lot of people ran the bottom. It's all kind of separated out here. So here's Bryson through the tri-oval, keeps it up there on the track. And down here to the start-finish line there, he crosses. And let's see how close these times get now, as Bryson's time won't move much. As a matter of fact, he doesn't go anywhere. 4.72 on that lap. Sparling to the top of the 40. And you're going to see down here in the bottom, this is where it really gets good, watching these cars in yellow and green and potential purple. Here is Devin Ramsey, the 40 Racewear car, as he crosses the line. And Ramsey will slot into the 9th position as of right now. Lucas Strayer there. Fontaine slots in. Here's the returned Matthew Telder on track. Stephen Miles in the purple. Miles fell up short of the championship last year, and he's back to trying to claim his second one as he crosses the start-finish line and goes to the top, 53-36. For a pretty good super speedway racer. Remember, he and Bryson had the shootout, or the clash, whatever you want to call it, on lockdown last week before things happened towards the end of that race. And he fell up just a little bit short from going to victory lane. Ooh, Telder kind of slides up the track. That's not going to help him. And he'll cross the line in the 16th position, 53-48. Obviously got a good crew of cars not running laps at all, so it looks like that's going to be it. So Stephen Miles kicking off the season with a pole presented by Spicy Schemes. So big shout out to Sammy B, again, sponsoring here for the pole lap. But right now we're going trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, here we go. Back. Big shout out to everyone watching here tonight on the Captain eSports Network as we go trackside and show you the starting lineup in the front end of the pace car. Oh, boy. As we got a pretty good crew of cars ready to race here tonight. That's the wrong button, Scala. There it is. Stephen Miles on the pole. Blaine Sparling there on the outside. Blaine looking for his first win. Ben Pierce returns. Ben actually has a win here at Talladega. And Sean Peachin alongside him. Lucas Strayer, Christopher Dean. The Dean Machine starting in row 3. Tyler Bluff and Sam Fontaine, row 4. Row 5 is where you see the Matthew Wheeler 10 car and Joey Ladessor in the 23. Dylan Rosenberg, Devin Ramsey, they are there in row number 6. Taking a look at row 7. Alex Bryson, Caleb Fosnot, Jacob Thornton, Matt Telder there, row 8, row 9, Dalton Carter, Christian Antonio in the 45 car, Jacob Clayton and Luke Simonson there in row 10, row 11, Tyler Brewer, Diego Sainz, Jason Dalton, Brian Sutphin there in row 12, as Sam Fontaine did not make the grid. There's some breaking news. Cedric Ingram, Jason Clark returns tonight, 26th position. Cam Ingram, Robert Lukens, Richard Midkiff, Sam Barnes. In row 15 of the 30 starters, Luke Simonson and Sam Fontaine did not make the grid, which is going to mean they're going to have to start on pit road. So kind of some breaking news there. Sam Fontaine, the 3-time champion now, officially going to miss the start of this race. So unfortunate way to start the season there for the 77 car. Race information tonight in the Premier Series Dega Dash, 83 degrees, 25% or 29% humidity. The race tonight, by the way, presented by Nexus Designs and the Dega Dash on his 2.66 mile track, 102 degree track temperature. And of course, always subscribe to the Captain Esports Network on YouTube if you're new and watching us here this evening. So, as per usual, and if you have not noticed this trend, Diego Sainz has given me words to say throughout the season. It ended towards the end of last season, kind of like what Harvick did last season for Fox. So tonight he gave me one that's kind of simple, I think. And I'm going to use it the way I know how to use it, but I'm going to use it before the start of the race. But the aura seems to be there tonight. Like, we're going to have a good race tonight. I have a feeling. We only had one caution in the Talladega race last season that Dalton Carter went to victory lane in. So here we go. Off of turn number 4 through the tri-oval. Stephen Miles, Blaine Sparling, and the start that we've been waiting for a few months now. It is season 4. The GLSR Mr. Radiator Premier Series kicks off at Talladega. Green flag. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As Miles going to get that inside lane wound up. Lane's, I should say Ben Pierce there on his inside net 02 car, and there goes cars dropping to the back right away. Lucas Strayer, Tyler Pluff. That's Christopher Dean there in that 48 car right there bottom lane. As he's going to try to get up there with Miles. As everybody gets to trying to find their partners. That's Dylan Rosenberg in the Harrison Burton paint scheme. I guess we call it Harrison Burton right now, right? The 21 scheme. Now, Fontaine is on track, by the way. He is exiting pit road, I believe, as we speak. I'm seeing that right on my timing and scoring. But Miles leads lap 1. So Fontaine will likely go a lap down here. But the good news is he is here. Seeing cars check up out of line. There's a 69 of Sean Peachin. Of course, this is that fun part of the year where I get to learn the numbers and names. Some numbers are the same, but the names are different, or the sponsors are different. Cars look a little different, so I just got to get used to all that right now. I'm seeing a little bit of a single file line here get formed up. 3 cars in the middle lane, 2 up top. Everybody else pretty much painting. I say that as Pierce jumps up top. But the problem with that is Dean is pretty much a teammate to Miles. And just like that, they push each other right on ahead. As a matter of fact, to clarify that, they are teammates on Laser Racing with Ramsey, Miles, Dean, and Bryson. And if you remember last week, it was Bryson and Miles at Daytona that just kind of dominated. Sparling up on that top side. And he's bringing the one of Matt Telder. Telder started all the way back into 16th position. Has been kind of talking a little bit to me. Well, we talk all the time, but during the offseason, he's kind of been telling me that he feels a lot better now as somebody who's learned the race, basically, when it comes to how to finish a whole entire race when it comes to a longer race. Of course, that terminology just went falling through my head, so I know there's a different term to it, but he feels that he can get out here and run a pace and stuff and not get himself in trouble like he's done in a lot of races in the past. So we'll see if that has helped Telder in his racecraft. There's the word I'm looking for. As Lucas Simonson has finally jumped into the race here. Now, one thing I should share that I have noticed in recent times is iRacing's had some issues with cars getting pushed out of the race after qualifying. So I'm not sure if that's what happened to Luke here when this deal's over with, but unfortunately he is some 4 laps down already in this race as we ride with the Mr. Radiator number 60 car of Jacob Clayton. Clayton making a one-off start apparently for the GZ Racing team, which was supposed to have Josh Gagnon, Jason Clark, and Dylan Glass a part of this team, but learned today that Jason is not a part of the team, and unfortunately Dylan and Josh aren't here, so it looks like Clayton's all by himself here tonight in that 60 car as we complete 5 laps already, and just that inside line choo-chooing. Just being patient right now as I go back and look here at some of these numbers of the past. Here at this Talladega Superspeedway. Now, of course, we've run this track plenty of times, and when I talk about the previous history, I bring up the trucks a lot, but let's focus more on this Xfinity car here and talk about the history there. This is the 3rd race now in the Xfinity car for the Premier Series here, and that was Season 1 and Season 3, and Josh Gagnon won that race in Season 1 that had 3 cautions, and then Dalton Carter won the race with only 1 caution last season. Usually the caution numbers here are low, but obviously every race is different, as they say. So expect the unexpected when it's all said and done here. We ride with Dylan Rosenberg in that Ford Motorcraft car. Pretty good draft there down the back straightaway as he just kind of pacing himself right now. Again, every Wednesday night you'll see us here on the Captain eSports Network for GLSR Racing. Week 1 here tonight. Week 1 of 15 weeks, right up into the Christmas time period. As we're really getting into a lot of series kicking off or just getting going here with their season. Of course, league race tomorrow night, league race Friday night, league race Sunday night, final one there. And then league race Monday night, then league race Tuesday night, league race Wednesday night. So we're going to have a lot of stuff coming up here on the Captain eSports Network. We're going to have a lot of great racing here. So make sure you do click that. Oh, Blaine Sparling, hold on. What a save that was. As Dean's going to go to the lead there in that 48. Watch this. Oh, right there is where. Back it up a little bit more. Watch this 59 car. As I think he went to try to make a move on Miles after Miles slid up the track here to try to double up the field here with both the laser cars. And watch this 59. Right there, he and the one make contact, and oh man. They regroup pretty quickly here. Nice job by everybody to sort that one out. Let's check on last season's champion. There he is, Sam Fontaine. Unfortunately, singing the music all by myself. He's going to need some help from a caution, which, when I think about that, brings me to one of the other big rule changes this season. And it's like the 4th time this rule has been changed, but there is no more halfway caution. If you remember the beginning of the series, if you've been around that long, 4 years ago, there were halfway cautions. Like, if we went to halfway without a yellow, we got a caution. Then it was taken away. Then last season, it came back. And after 3/4 of the season, people were done with that. So now that halfway break is gone again. So we are back to whatever happens, happens. So if we go 65 caution-free laps, that's what happens. But if you go back to last season, that was pretty much the one caution we had in this Talladega race was the halfway break. But we almost Almost had a caution there just a minute ago. There's Christian Antonio, newcomer to the series, a Navy Federal Credit Union car. Riding in at 45. Riding behind the last season's winner, Dalton Carter there. Behind him, Tyler Pluff looking for his first win. He's got his teammate Brewer there behind him. Excuse me. And everybody just minding their business, minding their P's and Q's here. So as we ride here in this race, I want to jump back here to this number 9 of Devin Ramsey, and you will notice on his car is 40 Racewear. Look at there. Our boys from 40 Racewear, Jim Herrick, of course, on the sponsorship there of this number 9 car. Of course, Matt Telder also features the 40 Racewear logo, but you can check out the merchandise and gear that you can get to help your iRacing experience, if it's shoes, if it's clubs, t-shirts, and more. Check out 40racewear.com. There's a link down in the information underneath the screen here that you can click on to get the information. Check out the website and more at 40racewear.com. So big shout out to Jim Herrick and all the hard work he does there at 40 Racewear. Yeah, there's Telder. He's got 40 on his car right there. Look at a perfect shot there. I'll give my producer a raise. So Laser Racing picking up right where it left off at Daytona last week during the Clash. It's led all the laps with Miles and Dean up front. Newcomer Matthew Wheeler in that 10 car wheeling and dealing in the 3rd position. Blaine Sparling 4th, and then that top side coming to work with Ben Pierce in the 60 car of Jacob Clayton. As we complete 13 laps, should be a one-stop race easily to the finish. Now, the matter of when you want to use that one stop, you can go about 35 to 40 on a tank of fuel. 65 minus 40, we'll call it, is 25. So just leave it at about lap 25. Window opens to go the rest of the way to the finish. That simple. Check back here, a couple cars. Jason Dalton back here with Jason Clark there, returning in the number 20 this season. Sam Barnes there behind him in the 22 car. Diego Sainz in that 44 car. Cam Ingram, Cedric Ingram. Of course, Cedric winning at Daytona in the opener last season. There's Cam. Behind him, Brian Sutphin, who returns to the series, and want to give him a little bit of a shout out. Unfortunately, lost a family member recently to cancer, and basically his paint scheme says cancer sucks, and that's about the biggest piece of truth I've ever heard. Facts to Brian Sutphin there. Of course, I lost my dad to cancer, and he's lost a family member, and others have too. And obviously, thoughts and prayers to the Sutphin family. All right, so 15 laps complete. As they come up on Fontaine, they're going to put him a lap down. Now, he's really going to need some help from a yellow. He should be able to slot right in line here. We'll see if he tries to get racing, gets up there, or does he go back there with his teammates. I mean, he's the only car a lap down and the only car in danger right now. And even being a lap down is up the middle. I thought Miles was saying he did get stuck in the middle. As Wheeler put him 3 wide, but Wheeler has no help up top. As all 4 of the Laser Racing cars now up in the top 5 of this race. Laps in, everybody just being patient here. This is how you gotta do it. I mean, sometimes it's not the funnest racing in the world, but you gotta make it to lap 65. And how you do it is just kind of ride, hang out. Be patient and do what you got to do here. Haven't really seen too many aggressive moves. Had a little bit of a mishap between Sparling and Telder early in the race, but everybody was able to fix that pretty quickly as Dean has a little bit of a blinking issue, but should be okay. Here's Joey Ladisor. Of course, Joey has taken over the reins of the main sponsor here in the series, the Mr. Radiator Premier Series. Hence the logo you see up there at the top. Of course, Mr. Radiator is the business that Joey Ladisor owns. And a big shout out to him for stepping out and, of course, or stepping up. And big shout out to Downrange Transport for sponsoring the last few seasons here of the Premier Series. And Kevin Davis for doing what he's done. As Josh Gagnon shows up in chat saying go GZ and doesn't realize there's only one car in the field from that team. As up front, Dean getting the push from that one car. Clayton, I should say Clayton's up there in the top with the 10 push, and Dean's down there on the bottom. Blaine Sparling, here I am stuck in the middle with you. As Dalton starts to come up, here comes the KJD 2 cars. We're starting to see the teams really coming together here. 69 is Sparling back there with Caleb Fosnot, who is his stepson, by the way. So, you know, now we got another father-son in the series, per se. As Luke Simonson goes another lap down, and big shout out to Luke for running the Celiac Foundation car. Much like my daughter, he's got relatives and family members that suffer from that. So already a third of the race in. And for the first time, we're seeing somebody get up here outside of the Laser Racing team and challenge for the lead. And that's Jacob Clayton in an outside lane, that 60 car with help from the 10 of Matthew Wheeler, who's been pretty much up there the whole entire night in that orange number 10. And can anyone get around that inside line? All four of the laser cars right there, first through fourth in the inside lane. As I think Clayton led that lap actually in that 60 car. Oh, contact. One car heading for the apron. Dean saves it. Oh, this might be. Oh, one car spinning. There goes Midkiff into the 86 as Dean reemerges. Everybody's good. As Fosnot and Midkiff have wrecked and caution is out. No caution waves for the first time. And that started up at the front and kind of checked up to the back. Let's see how this transpired. Let's go crash cam. Well, 10 just gets to the right rear of the 60, gets him a little free, almost netcoats Dean down there. And then back here, 29 and 86 come together. Let's get that from the angle back here. Oh, I see. The 49 got into the 29. everybody was checking up, and then as 29 checked up, the contact happened, and unfortunately he went to the inside. See this again here. You can see him out of the gas. 49 just runs him over, unfortunately. All right, caution out. And this is going to get interesting as pit stops. Race off pit road to 10. I think Wheeler's going to get the race off pit road. Peachin, Rosenberg, Ramsey, and you notice one car has stayed out. And that is Tyler Pluff in the 39. Not sure of that strategy call. Interessante. All right, let's do some chatting here. Let's talk to the champion from last season. He's got his lap back now. He got the lucky dog back on the lead lap after unfortunately missing the start of the race here. Fontaine, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, bud. Obviously, getting the break you needed there after the rough start there to the race. But either way, man, coming back as the champion this season again. Seems like the field's just going to get tougher and tougher as we see each and every year. So what's it going to take this season to be a 4-time champion in the series?
I mean, this year it's all about being constant every race and being on your game like for the whole season. It's not necessarily the win that's gonna give you a shot to the championship at the end of the day. So we'll see how guys do, but I think we're just gonna need to bring back top 5 every so week with the chase format, and hopefully it's enough.
Does it change your approach, being you have a series now without a winning get in situation?
I mean, it might for some. My goal is always to be patient during the race and try my best to be up front, but I mean, it might for some because they don't want to jeopardize their season due to one bad result, right? So I guess it might. I mean, in my case, I don't think so. I'm just gonna try to do my best the whole time and hopefully can bring a great result even against those tough guys.
Surprised you didn't hang a left there, but hey, best of luck here tonight.
Thanks, mate.
Absolutely. And Sam Fontaine back on the lead lap now after the unfortunate missing of the start, and we'll get him to his channel here as we should get one to go. As you've seen a lot of cars. I mean, the top 9 stayed out, and we got the one to go mark. So we're going to see an almost single file restart here as we come back to the green because of the way this is set up. And I mean, we're right on the number now as the caution came at 21. And we're looking right now at 41 laps to go. Can you make it that far on fuel? Doubtful. But I'm not going to hold it past somebody. I mean, that would be 110 miles if they're able to pull that off in this car. I mean, Jesse Love did it in the the Xfinity race back in, what was it, May or something like that when they ran at Dega. So maybe somebody's got his fuel mileage or something in that car, right? All right, so we come back to the green. Want to send a shout out to our friend Mark at MC Racing, of course, hanging out, watching tonight, potentially there in downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana, as he's got a couple of sim rigs set up there for people to stop in and do some racing on multiple different sim games and stuff, including iRacing. I know he's got a couple of short trackers that actually come in and run some official short tracks during the week and stuff. But a big shout out to Mark, who's likely watching this on his screens there at MC Racing in downtown. So thank you, Mark, for hanging out and watching. If you ever come through the Fort Wayne area, you can always reach out to me or something, and I can show you exactly where he is, downtown across from the courthouse. As we come back to the green, I think it's only one thing left to do is we've been celebrating the start of GLSR Racing again, and that is for everybody to turn their speakers up. Here we go, green flag. All right, so you might have noticed the 39 went to pit road, and I was kind of wondering about this. Unfortunately, Tyler Pluff penalized because he entered a closed pit. So basically how the super speedways work is because it's such a big track, iRacing sets up basically quickie yellows for every yellow on a big track, no matter how big the wreck is. So Pluff stayed out on that first lap, and when that happens, it closes the pits, the rest of the caution for him. Where everybody else, since they came to pit road, it kept the pits open. So because of that, Pluff got a penalty and now is a lap and a half down. He, Cedric Ingram, Richard Midkiff, and Luke Simonson all laps down now in this race after the first caution. Not sure why Cedric is a lap down, if he got penalized or not too. It looks like he had some damage actually on that 19 car from that wreck. So Matthew Wheeler leading this race. As I look over here at these numbers, I have to check. I don't ever remember a name of Matthew Wheeler, so I think this might be his first start in this B car. And here he is out front. And let me just say this, the history of people winning their first starts, it's happened here a few times. J.W. Miller, of course, Chris Evans winning the first ever race, so that kind of falls in that book. Ricky Springer, I believe, won his first race. No, he didn't. He finished second, as a matter of fact, as I just thought back to that. But we have seen the history happen here. And he, of course, leads this race as Clark now races up there to the front in that 20 car. Ladisor pushing him, Telder pushing him. And Dalton's going to get kind of stuck in the middle as Luke Simonson's trying to get some laps back there. But with this short kind of race, 65 laps, only, it's roughly about 175 miles or something like that in this race. You have to kind of get what you can get here quickly and early. 173 to be exact. And what now becomes a race for consistency. As no more of the winning get in as of this season. Miles back here now, 14th position. A lot of these guys topped off the fuel cell maybe trying to save as much as they can in the draft. That's going to take some pretty good work here because you got to stay in the throttle a pretty good amount of time here. You might even hear some people kind of popping the ignition switch for a quick second. Thornton, another driver, trying to get that first career win. And Sammy B. Oh, somebody's on the apron. I just saw. That's the 40 of Tyler Brewer. He was able to save it. Looks like everybody's going to be okay. See if they let him up on track. Looks like they will. Might break the pack up here for just a split second. Oh, Clark, not sure if he got loose or went to throw a block on a 10 there, and he hung a left. I was looking at the other screen. I just saw that car shoot across my screen. I was like, wait a minute here. Either way, he gives the top side to the 23, Joey Ladasor. He's got the one of Telder pushing him, a couple dirt guys up there pushing. You see Clark kind of going to the back. See the 45 to 60 trying to go by. You see the 0-2 there of the powerhouse racing team of Ben Pierce back in the series. So it looks like all the 24 cars are in this pack. Brian Sutphin's trying to hold on there in the 25th spot. I might have to throw him an anchor. A life preserve, whatever you want to call it. And thank you everybody watching here this evening. If you're new to the chat, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, we appreciate you hanging out and watching what is a series that I wanted to say that I've done from the start. Basically from when the Captain eSports Network came on the air. Well, the second time it came on the air back in 2020. We were there for that first race, but we did take some time away and even tried to race in the league for a year, or for a season, but went back to where we belong, and that's in the booth here, and been covering this series pretty much from the start. And it's cool to be back here for season 4 of this Premier Series as Matt Telder, inside lane, the Grand Rapids, Michigan driver, getting pushed by his old number with the same name. Another guy named Matt. Matt Wheeler. Matter of fact, I see a little common theme here. The inside row, the first 6. Oh, around goes Telder. He and Wheeler come together, they slide. He locks it down. No caution. I wonder if there was a bumper hook. And that definitely spread everybody out. Telder, unfortunately, tough break there. Let's go back to it here. Did we get a bumper hook potentially going into one? I think Telder's trying to get the 10 a little bit of air to his nose there. And that's just a tough spot because Telder kind of gave him a little bit of the inside lane there, and that might have been to get air. But the 10 decided to put his nose in there, and it's just a tough spot. Does that name say Boston Wheeler? Is back window there? But yeah, look right here. See, Telder gives him about a lane, a half a lane there at the bottom. But Matt does a good job locking it down. They're going to need a caution now to save their race, unfortunately. That was Matt on Matt violence. Leads to Blaine Sparling leading this race. Newcomer Christian Antonio running second there in that 45 car. And look at Dylan Rosenberg, the 91, who won the opener, the Clash opener, the open race to get into the main event. Jacob Clayton pushing him into 60. Ben Pierce up there with him in the 02, and so is the 69 is Sean Peachin. Lucas Strayer and that Casey Kane throwback with the grit logo and that 41 back there in the 5th car high lane. As Rosenberg going to lead that lap, actually. Oh, you got to protect the bottom when you do that. Clayton drops down. In fairness, though, I don't think Rosenberg wanted to give up the top two after they helped him out. So I kind of give him credit for that. But you always got to protect that bottom because you know that second place car 9 times out of 10 is going to go right down there. That's exactly what happened. Oh, there's last season's winner, Dalton Carter. Tillamook Creamery number 3. The Oregon driver. Yeah, how about this for an assortment? The man lives in Oregon, but he's an Atlanta Braves fan. I guess the one time he'll ever be able to go to a Braves game is if they play in Seattle, I guess. And saw a little bit of checking up there with Pearson. Rosenberg as Sean Peachin's gone to the lead. Sure what happened there, maybe some contact or something, but it kind of looked interesting. Race number 1 here, Talladega. Race number 2 next week, Darlington Raceway. We go right to the Lady in Black for race number 2. So if you had a rough start to your first race of the season, oh, I feel bad for you next week. That's one of those tracks, if you haven't figured it out by now, it picks its own winners. You could be leading the race by a lot of laps or a lot of seconds, and just, it all gets taken from you. As the big check up there, Pierce shut the door to the bottom as he took that second position away, and they started hitting each other up here. I'm sure it was a little bit of a checkup, but Pierce, who's got himself a win at this track, not playing games here tonight. That number 22, the Windex car, as I'm calling it. I'm coming up with that name right now, the Windex car. Why? Because it's the Pepsi Blue car. And from the time I remember this car hitting the track when Jeff Gordon put it on, I was like, oh, Pepsi Blue looks like Windex. And I want anybody to prove me wrong on that. You will never look at a Pepsi Blue bottle ever the same after that comment. Cedric Ingram, unfortunately, his chances of another super speedway win down the drain as he goes a lap down. Tyler Pluff's getting lapped again. As one of the cars I've been impressed with tonight, that 59 of Blaine Sparling. You got to go all the way back to 2022, I believe it was, when he won that championship. It might have been 2021 even, when he won the championship in the truck. Never has gone to victory lane in this series, but yet was consistent enough. Showed up at Chicagoland in the Final Four and finished in the top 5 in that race and won the championship after the team that a lot of people thought was just going to walk away with it, which they pretty much had dominated all season long. For those who don't remember, PPM and Zach Allman and those guys there went to Chicagoland that night, and I don't even know what the right word is. Didn't show up, basically. And Blaine Sparling ended up winning the championship that night. And probably, we got our biggest upsets race-wise that we can talk about, but when it comes to an all-around championship upset, that was it. As these guys starting to get a little racy back here. 22 laps to go. Who can make it on fuel? Who can't make it on fuel? Laser Racing teaming up back there is Ramsey kind of edged up there against the wall with Bryson. They had to check up a little bit. Unfortunately, Telder is now he's now multiple laps down. Unfortunately, it looks like he came to pit road actually for a pit stop and sits 2 laps down after that spin with the contact from the 10 car. Wheeler right now, last car in the lead lap. He's still 35 seconds back and obviously needs help from a yellow to get back on the lead lap as Pierce crosses the line again here. 20 laps to go, 45 in the books. Just the 1 yellow so far. As Pierce going up to block the 39, who's, by the way, a lap car of Tyler Pluff, as he's trying to get back on the leading lap of this race. Actually trying to get, he's trying to get the 1 lap down, actually, as I'm looking at the numbers here. Just so he has a chance. Right now, he would actually be the first car to be 2 laps down and would get the lucky dog to get the 1 lap down if a wreck would happen. What he's trying to do is, I think he's trying to do the ever so rare 2-for-1 move here. So here's this deal. If he can get in front of the leader and a yellow comes out, he would not only get a lap back from passing the leader, he would get the lucky dog and be back on the lead lap from being the first car a lap down. Can you imagine that? The old 2-for-1 lap special. That might be one of the rares on iRacing I've never done before, as I think about it. So Clayton in that 60 car running into second position. Miles position there behind Tyler Pluff. He is in third. Blaine Sparling right there. He's been in the top 5 all night. Sean Peachin's right there. Dylan Rosenberg's been there all night. But I think as this race gets closer and closer towards the end, you're going to see a crop of guys work their way up there. And that's where, unfortunately, you get 25 guys racing for the same piece of real estate and things happen. Ooh, 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 ooh. look at this here for a second. I want to take a look at the numbers. As Pierce is out here leading this race. I don't even know if Ben Pierce has started a B car or a Xfinity car, or Premier car in this case. He has. He's made actually 12 starts. Okay, so I wanted to double check these numbers here really quickly. So he's made 12 starts in the car. And this is his first start here of this season, of course. Not sure if he's doing part-time or full-time. But his last start in the car let me make sure I check out this series really quickly here. If this is accurate, his last start was Indianapolis in November of last year, where he started 26th and finished 19th at the Brickyard. So about like 9 months ago, 10 months ago. So good to see the O2 back. Good to see the 60 car running up front there, Clayton. Obviously, anytime you could see Robert Lukens, who's got himself a top 3 finish on the Superspeedway before. Tyler Brewer, who's been here pretty much since the beginning, looking for his first win. Would that be a big upset? How about Jason Clark there? He has been here since the beginning. I remember that. His colorful language. He went to victory lane. And if you're on the lead lap, you can win it. And there's Sam Fontaine, who of course started the race on pit road, went a lap down, got the lucky dog, and now 15 laps to go. He is hanging right there in the 10th spot, looking for his first Super Speedway win, I believe, in the series. So we went green at lap 25 or 24. We're 25 laps into this run right now, so we still got about 10 or so laps before we really see who saved enough to get to lap 65 and race for the win in this thing. We get a yellow and go to overtime. There's going to be a lot of pitting issues. Tyler Brewers will ride with him in that 40 car, that Pro Sim West car. Robert Lukens to his inside. See if Clark right there behind him. There's that Tillamook number 3 of Dalton Carter. And you just have to kind of talk to yourself here a little bit. Just kind of keep yourself, be it from making the moves too early to what you're comfortable with, being patient. Of course, you always got to look out for the big wreck. Pierce actually a 4/10 of a second lead, and that is because he is out here literally shoving Tyler Pluff, and he's trying to get away from the pack, which is a very interesting strategy here. This is a bold strategy. The problem is his car's getting too hot. And here comes the field that's going to have a lot of momentum now. was kind of a smart move on his part there to move up to the middle lane. Kind of kill the momentum behind him and stay 2x2 with Pluff. And it's actually going to open up a third lane as here comes Lucas Strayer in the 41. $11 to go, and here comes everybody. All of a sudden, I think the race just went green or something here. Outside line starting to fall apart a little bit there as Pierce leads that middle lane. Ten laps to go, and what it looked like could become mayhem really quickly faded back to 2x2. Yeah, I think everybody realized what they could do, and maybe the jumble up there with Pierce going side by side just kind of jumbled everybody up. But I mean, for a second there, I'm like, oh, this might get interesting real quick. But everybody's done a great job here so far. I guess the worst news out of this whole bunch is the end of the race is going to come at some time, and that's where the buttons get pushed and people start making moves and things start happening. See a couple KJD2 cars lining up at the top side. That's over on the lap car, Matt Telder, who pulls down to the apron out of the way. And then the car of Midkiff here, they'll go by also. Eight laps to go. I mean, when do you want to make this first move? I mean, I think if you're back where like Sam Barnes and those guys are, Dalton Carter, I mean, you got to probably start going here any minute because you see it's going to be tough to pass with it being 2x2. You're going to need help to get out. Oh, and Peachin makes a move. Puts himself in a wall doing it. Rosenberg's trying to help him. Peachin was trying to make that top line roll, but I don't think Pierce gave him a lot of room, and he put himself in a wall doing it, and now he's going to try to get it going again. See, if I'm Peachin, you got to almost wait for Dylan to get that run, and then let him tell you when. Let him say go. But because all they are doing right now is killing this outside lane. As Clark's going to make a move, and Pierce is stuck in the middle. Six laps to go. Clark up front. Behind him is Zanina Devin Ramsey, who's trying to give him the push. I'm sorry, that's behind Ben Pierce. That's Strayer behind Clark. Rosenberg still trying to get Peachin up there. They do not have much help at all. as we come to 5 to go. Does Sparling look up there? He started to. The only thing I worry about is are the Peachin and Rosenberg cars, are they slowing down that middle lane? Because they're up there up top right now, but the cars are starting to shuffle a little bit more. Sparling went to the top as now Miles fills the middle, and here we go. As here come the KJD2 cars up the middle. As Clark gets help from the 9 of Ramsey. You are looking at roughly 21 cars sitting in this pack. If I remember this correctly off the top of my head, there is a grand total of 2 wins in that front row. Pierce and Strayer have both won a race here at Talladega. And of course Clark, who's still trying to get that first win, is now he goes to the top. And here comes Ramsey up the middle with help from his teammate Miles, who's got Bryson with him. I mean, this is pretty much coming down to push. Who you have there is Clark. Shuts the door on Ramsey. Two laps to go. Can he get back to the line? I'm guessing everybody's good on fuel the way they're racing. Oh, Clark got forced to the top. Dean to the apron. They're checking up. One car's in the wall. Cars everywhere. They're spinning. They're wrecking. And looks like Jacob Thornton and others. The 45 all torn up. Christian Antonio. And they did not make it back. And we'll have to see who's leading this, either Miles or Ramsey at the line. Well, we will have overtime. Get to the replay here. I'm looking for the first guy that had the incident here. I mean, I saw cars in the wall. I saw cars spinning all of a sudden. I mean, they were trying 4 wide there. See, Pierce gets the wall, and there's contact between Dalton and Sparling. Fontaine makes it through. Barnes gets some contact. Dalton into the inside wall. Get another view of this here. Yeah, Blaine was just in a bad spot there. Oof. 45 nailed that wall. Simonson involved. Oh, T-bone steak for the 10. And we have a lot of cars on pit road here, by the way. I reckon, and unfortunately for Wheeler, bam, right back in front of him. Yeah, it looks like Pierce kind of got the wall there, and so did Sparling or not Peachin, and they had him 4 wide there, and Sparling just nowhere to go. Contact with Dalton. All right, let's set up what we got here, because Devin Ramsey is going to be the leader of this race. He has stayed out. He and Dean are the 2 cars that have stayed out. Stephen Miles is 3rd. Lucas Strayer and pretty much the rest of these cars came to pit road to top off the fuel cell. Strayer, Bryson, Ladiseur, Sam Fontaine, checking on Clark because it didn't show Clark coming to pit road. But he might have came in. We'll have to see on that. Fontaine, Pierce, Rosenberg, all these cars right here. As we'll come back to 1 to go this time by. And here we go, 1 to go this time. So Ramsey, Dean, Strayer, Miles, Bryson, Ladiseur, Ben Pierce, 7th, Jason Clark, Dylan Rosenberg, Sam Fontaine, your top 10. And you see the lap cars are going to work their way to the back. Who's going to take home that first win to go to Darlington next week for race number 2? And remember the big thing here, there's no more win and get in for this series. And let's talk about this here for a second. That 48 car up top there, Christopher Dean, he was here for that first Talladega race back 4 years ago. And he was leading, coming to the white flag. Chris Evans made the pass on him to win the race, and it took him a year and a half after that, or a season and a half, basically, after he finally got that win at the Milwaukee Mile in season 2. Answer the question. People asking, how many green, white checkers? 3. We'll see how it goes from here. As Devin Ramsey, Dean, Miles, all teammates from Laser Racing, the front 3. Alex Bryson, he's in 5th. He is the 4th car on this team. So 4 of the top 5 are Laser Racing. Can anyone get around them? We're going to find out as they come back to the green flag here. This first lap is kind of that lap you got to find a partner because you're going to get spread out here, and trying to push back up there to put this pack back together. And then from there it is, well, good luck. Seeing one car already moved to the middle. I think that's Brian Sutphin with Diego Sainz there in the 44. Dalton Carter pushing the 91. And Rosenberg back there is the front 7 here in their own pack. Couple cars separating here in the back. Is there's Carter on the apron. He comes back up the track. Everybody's okay. As here comes Miles to the outside of his teammate, going to try to take the lead. They're going to try to lock this out. Strayer's up the middle, and there they go. Miles, Bryson, Devin Ramsey, I should say, and others go around. And Dean also involved. And caution back out. And pretty much all of Laser Racing wiped away from the top four. Let's see what happened here. When Miles made that move, I mean, it was the right move because you had all four laser cars right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Strayer sticks his nose in the middle, trying to open up the groove, and they just all come together. Get you a better view of this from the crash cam. There just wasn't room. Fontaine involved. There goes a hood. So say what comes up must come down eventually. The hood did come down. Get a blimp view of this. I mean, the hood might have hit the blimp. No, there was room there. As Clark's right there in the inside lane. And Clark ends up with heavy damage. A lot of Soarer loses his hood. Wow. Let's go on board with Alex Bryson here for the wreck here. I mean, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do here. And unfortunately, bam, the hook. Well then. Well, this is going to make things interesting. With everybody lined up the way they are here, it looks like it's got Joey Ladasor lined up as the leader. Problem is, Joey has no hood. The hoodless horseman here. Dylan Rosenberg second. Diego Sainz all of a sudden is third. Ben Pierce is fourth. Robert Lukens in the top five. I'm looking at something in Discord. It's kind of funny. All right, we're coming to the green flag this time. Attempt number 2 at a green-white checker. And this race has gone from pretty clean to I'm seeing less than 10 cars without damage now. And when I say damage, I mean like They got scrapes maybe, but not. All right, look, Dalton Carter, no back end. And there's a lot of sword back here with no hood. This is become a scrapyard, unfortunately, here. But that's what it does. Super Speedway racing. You get cars all together, racing hard. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of arguing afterwards. I appreciate all the viewers coming to hang out here in this opening race of the season. Yes, here we go. Scott Hayden, Braxton DeWeese hanging out. Appreciate you guys, as always. Rosenberg has not gone to victory lane in any of the series that he races in, which is about all of them on the Captain eSports Network. Is tonight he does it in the Motorcraft car. He and Diego Sainz lead him to the green. Not a good restart for Pierce. They're going to get single file real quick. Matter of fact, front 8 single file. Don't really see any teammates. Bam, big hit from Pierce. As Sainz on the top side, Pierce coming in the middle. Here we go. Diego went back to get his teammate, I think. Yes, it is Cedric Ingram back there. I was wondering. As here we go, white flag, final lap. Here comes Clark. Jacob Thornton into the picture here in his 4th place. Down the back straightaway, cars weaving back and forth. Pierce, Thornton goes in the middle, contact with Rosenberg. Here comes Thornton up the middle. Oh, Clark gets hooked. And, by God, he's gone. Coming to the line. The drag race, the contact, and Dylan Rosenberg. Dylan Rosenberg has won the Dega Dash in Talladega. And once again, a first-time winner. Jacob Thornton finishes second. Sean Peachin, Robert Luke, and Sam Barnes, your top 5. And for about the 15th time, not that I'm counting, coming to the checkered flag, I had to literally turn my mic off to cough because my throat, my throat was hurting. I think he took out my camera. All right, I guess that was it for the donuts. All right, well, interesting. Like, okay. All right, let's take a look at the final results here. We'll have to work on the donuts for him. As it is going to be an interesting conversation tonight. As a matter of fact, did Rosenberg get... he must have got disqualified or something, because it's showing Robert Lukens as the leader. Matter of fact, it's got this all messed up now. Anyways, I don't know what to say. This is like all jacked up here. That's the results I have, but that's totally different than... All right, well, we'll just go away from that, and here's what we'll do. We'll just put the... we'll put that up there and let you guys see who won the race and stuff. But Rosenberg, your winner. Jacob Thornton, second. Sean Peach in third. Robert Lukens, Sam Barnes, your top 5. Ben Pierce, 6th. Diego Sainz, Joey Ladasseur, Christopher Dean, and Dalton Carter is what I have for the top 10. Again, this is all unofficial, so I'm just going to let that scroll across. That's what it's showing me. So Rosenberg got a random DQ, so that answers my question. So, but yeah, we'll just let that scroll across there instead of using the results here tonight. Just stuff that happens, unfortunately. First race blues, right? Whew. All right, I'm going to take a breath here because I kind of choked a little bit there calling the finish. It happens. Oh, man. I was excited to see what was going to happen here and who was going to victory lane in the race. But let's talk to the top 3 here. Sean Peachin kicks off his season with a top 3. And congrats to the boss man now who gets himself a top 3 finish. Sean, congratulations. And what a wild finish that was.
Did I get a top 3?
According to mine, it says so.
I don't know. iRacing had me at 4th, so we'll probably go with iRacing. But you can talk to me for just a second.
Sure, why not?
Oh, sorry. I'm
Wow!
almost. I'm pumped right now. I'm absolutely pumped. So I'm so happy for Dylan to win the race. We were talking about it the whole time, all day. He said, "I just have a feeling that one of us is going to win." And when we got to that last stretch there after on the GWC, I was just so stoked to see him in that position. And I told him, I said, "I'm pushing you. I don't know if I'm going to make it on gas." I was like, "But I'm going to push you until I die." And that's exactly what we did. And he got the W for Ace. And I'm so freaking pumped, dude. I'm so pumped.
Well, it's not the first time I've seen Ace get a win like this here, but obviously another first-time winner at this track. So go ahead and send some shout-outs, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to like 1931 here, and the way we're going to do the replay here, I'm going to literally watch the cars cross the line, and I'm going to talk to those 3 drivers here after this, but send some shout-outs.
Yeah, I'll send shout-outs anyway. So shout-outs first and foremost to the admin team that worked tirelessly and worked their ass off in the off-season. Both Sam with the Discord, Tyler getting everything together with the schedule, the graphics. Those guys are the real unsung heroes of the race. I'm just the guy who gets to have the crown in the Discord. Secondly, I want to say thanks to my team. Obviously, had a great run for the team. Thank you for broadcasting. It was amazing. Thanks all the new drivers for coming out and being with us, all the returning drivers for coming out. And then I would be remiss if I didn't end my shout-outs with a shout-out to the love of my life, my fiance, who's actually at aerobics class right now and didn't see any of this, but I'll have her watch the replay. But I love you. And yeah, thanks so much, Scala. Go do your photo replay thing, and you know, I'll take if I get to come back, right? If I am 3rd, do I get to come back?
You didn't finish 3rd.
Did I?
No.
Oh, fuck. No swearing. Cursed. Kick me out of the booth. Kick me out of the booth. I'm out of here. I'm sorry. I'm penalized. I penalized myself.
Oh, my God.
So I'm just so pumped right now. I can't help it. So I'm sorry.
Well, congratulations to the one, or what number are you? 69 used to be number 1 of
Yeah,
Sean
69.
Peachin. He has now broken the captain record for most F-bombs in an interview. With
I'm
2.
sorry. I have to be first at something because I wasn't first tonight. So.
Sean Housen, you're out of here.
All right. Cursed.
Oh my gosh, what has happened here? Well, as you see in a photo here, I've got the top 3. And looking over here at this, that means the top 3 combined wins before this night, 0. All 3 of them had never won a race before they crossed that start-finish line. And Dylan Rosenberg gets the win, Robert Luke in second, and Jacob Thornton third. There's your top 3. Let's go get Thornton and bring him up here, and let's see if we can carry on with the F-bombs on the air here. So Thornton finishes third here officially, I think. Tonight, congratulations, and man, what a race for you. Uh-oh, I think I lost Thornton. Did, like, he get pulled back or something? Does he not know I'm trying to talk to him? All right, well, we'll come back to Thornton, I guess. I see Strayer's showing a video of something down here. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, all right. Fine, we'll move to Bob Lukens. Where's Bob? We'll talk to him. He finished in the second. Is Robert even in chat? Oh, we're on a roll here. Third place, doesn't want to talk. Second place in here. All right, winner it is. Oh, never mind. Robert's up here. There he is. Maybe I should look in the waiting room that's up above my channel. Welcome in, Robert. Welcome into, I think, a career best finish. I know you finished third, I believe, one season at Daytona, and now you get yourself a top 2 finish.
Yeah, man. Feels pretty good, man.
I was going to say, what a race. Hanging back there, just do what you had to do, and did everything you could to finish, obviously, on the lead lap and get a top 3, and tonight finishing second.
Yes, sir. I was hanging out in Discord and I had to fight off the my bros. They were in there like, come on, go up to the front and try to get up to the lead all our entire race. And I had to hang out in the back to conserve the car and everything. And kind of hard to play with those, you know what I mean?
Right? I know exactly what you mean. And those are the ones that they will influence you sometimes to make bad moves, or sometimes they'll influence you to make good moves. But, man, either way, you made all the good moves tonight and about put old Handsome Harry there in victory lane once again. But has to feel good to get a top 2 and be back here tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hopefully we could keep this consistency up all season, man.
Well, great job, man. Send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
Nobody today, man. Just kind of, you know what I mean? I just hopped on and decided to, win the race today and decided I just decided to race today, and one of the best leagues in iRacing, Great Lakes, you know what I mean? Been here since season 1.
He's an OG, as they say. Bob Linkins or Robert finishing in the top 2. Hey, I think do I get away with Bob? I mean, I've been calling you forever.
Unfortunately, that's reserved for my grandfather.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, no more Bobs. I'll cut that off now. Robert Linkins finishing in the top 2. Congratulations, man. Absolutely. As Robert, great job on his part. And yeah, and Thornton's up here in the waiting room now, so let's he was debriefing with his team there for a moment as I tried to pull him up there, and looks like the debrief got done, and Jacob obviously a top 3 finish according to what I'm looking at here at the line. I'm literally using a still photo to see who finished top 3 tonight, so congratulations, and man, what a race it was for you.
Yeah, it was kind of just worked out the way it did. My team kind of got messed up there at the end, and I was kind of by myself and just trying to make some moves there at the end, and we got up there. So
you obviously did a great job running your way up there and working your way up there and getting a top 3 finish, but seemed like a lot of teamwork was happening in that race, and there at the end, even though he was a couple laps down, you saw Tyler Pluff helping you out.
Yeah, he was a huge help there once I believe it was Ben in the 20, they got together there and starting to lose a little bit of momentum, and then he came up and stepped up to me, and yeah, he was able to push me up there. So shout out to him for helping me out there.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, I mean, just shout out to the team. They were sticking with it, even though they got messed up there at the end, and they weren't too happy, but yeah, they're just sticking with me, coaching me on my way up there. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to Brewer for the paint. Yeah.
Great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
As Jacob Thornton finishes in the 3rd position here tonight. Congratulations to him on the run, of course, for his Brewer Motorsports team. And now to the guy who goes to victory lane. Oh, never mind. We're going off the air. Have a good one. I'm just kidding. Welcome in, Dylan.
Hey, don't skip me. I am the rightful winner of this race. iRacing might say differently, but don't believe it. It's all lies. It's all smoke and mirrors.
What are you, Trevor Bain or something here all of a sudden taking the old Motorcraft board to victory lane?
I guess so. Yeah, minus the rookie stripes.
Right? Well, great job, man. Talk about the race because you kind of hung up there in the top 10 all night and put yourself in the right position.
Man, Sean and I had a plan. It's a shame Caleb got caught up in the wreck because we had a 3-car plan going, but eventually it was just down to 2, and we were super tight on fuel, as was everybody, but we made it a priority for us to both at least lead a lap so we can get the bonus point, and that happened. And then at some point in the middle of that last run, some lap cars kind of got in front of Sean, who was leading the race, and that eventually got the outside lineup, and we got shuffled deep in the field, and we just barely scraped by that last wreck before the first green-white checker, and then we had to pit for fuel again because we certainly weren't going to make it then. And at that point, I was lined up like 10th, I think, and I needed a miracle. I had a run, and I was going to take it wherever it was going to take me, was, whatever, but then the wreck happened on the front stretch, and I just cranked it as hard left as I could to get by the mayhem and hang on for the win. Big thanks to Sean for pushing me there at the end. I really don't know if I could have held the lead on the bottom line without it, because the top line seemed to be a little more dominant when they were organized. I'm super pumped for Ace Racing. I am so freaking excited. And yes, I know how to use censorship, unlike Team Boss.
I think he broke the record for most F-bombs in one interview, but
I'm sure he did. He's just super excited. That's his way of showing it.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Great job tonight. Send some shouts where we like to.
Oh man! First of all, huge shout out to Amanda. Today was her first day. She's my girlfriend. This was her first day teaching. This is her 3rd year teaching now, but this is the first day of her new school year. She teaches elementary school. Big thanks to her and Ace Racing. We got it going on right now. I told you last week, I said I'm ready to go on a tear this year, and it all starts here. I'm so stoked. Couldn't be any better. And the GLSR officials, they put on a great leagues, great field of drivers tonight. It was really clean for the most part, and at the end, it's just Dega things. What are you gonna do?
It's definitely well worth it, man. Congratulations, you're in the.
Thank you.
Oh wait, never mind, you're not.
No, it's not winning you're in, but unless I'm mistaken, I might be leading the championship, so look out.
So you're saying there's a chance.
It's all downhill from here.
Great job tonight, bud.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Dylan Rosenberg, the winner here tonight, is. I think he just broke his leg.
No, I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'm going off here. I got to get back in the Ace Racing chat. Let's go.
Oh, that's what he said. He said, let's go. I thought he said, oh. All right, let's move. I'll send him down there for him so he can go celebrate with Caleb. And yeah, we'll go from there. Well, yeah, so there's your top 3 right there. Obviously, a great job by everybody. And what a fun race that was. I know it was wild. People are going to be unhappy, but that's product of it. Let's we'll go back and let's show you the final lap here. And watch how it all went down. As obviously Pierce was leading. And Clark coming back with that damage on his car. And you're going to see Thornton show the outside lane here a little bit. Clark's going to make a move for it there. You see Sutphin there also. Miles back up in there trying to get something. And there's some contact between Thornton and then right here, Pierce gets into Clark, and there's no words that can explain that. And then from here, it's just a drag race. And the 91 going to victory lane. What a job. What a race. Good fun here this evening at Talladega Superspeedway. We're heading out, and we'll come back next week from Darlington Raceway for race number 2 of this GLSR Mr. Radiator Premier Series here on the Captain eSports Network. Tomorrow night, we'll back with League Racing from New Hampshire. Hopefully you can join us for that. Otherwise, we're going to go to bed and get some sleep. Everybody enjoy the rest of their Wednesday night. Remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.